So research data has shown that about 40% of small businesses went out of business during the pandemic, or they suffered such a significant decline, 50% or more decline in revenues, that they were basically non-operational. A Harvard study called the Economic Tracker reported that about 37.5% to 38% of businesses were no longer in business after the effects of the pandemic or during the pandemic. Some other studies have that number as high as 60%. That number of businesses that went out of business is much higher, significantly higher among minority small businesses. When a surviving business is able to identify and intentionally implement these RSGs, they become much more resilient, much more sustainable than they would ever be had they not identified and intentionally implemented them. So there are the systemic disadvantages, and then there are what I call system deficiencies. Systemic disadvantages and system deficiencies. But there is a challenge, right? So it's easier said than done. Hey, put systems in place to help mitigate the systemic disadvantages. It's easier said than done, particularly for a small minority business that is.
The number one reason business owners and CEOs miss the early signs of a dying business. What is this number one reason? Has a basic understanding of business metrics, right? Business metrics is simply business measurements. Net cash flow is a business measurement. Net profit is also a business measurement. But if you have no idea how to understand or how to recognize these measurements, it's going to be very difficult for you to be able to measure the health or diagnose the health of your business. Don't have to be a business analyst expert, but these are some basic concepts that every business owner and CEO should know. So here are some real life examples of very important in assessing the health and financial strength of a business, both cash flow and profits. And Warren Buffett uses both of these metrics, cash flow and profits. He says, the agile organization is dawning as the new dominant organizational paradigm. But you only get an agile organization if you have the culture of agility. And the culture of agility is the ability to respond, what we were referring to as responsibility.
One of the elite sources of business and organizational strategies, Harvard Business Review, said that every organization should have a organizational strategy stress test. And so, we pride ourselves on this rigor. Don't let that intimidate you. You should welcome this level of rigor and robust analysis of your strategic plan.